Tuesday, we are recording, right? Tuesday, February 28th, 2012. This is Tier 3, Episode 18. Welcome to Mav Radio, KVNO 90.7 HD-2, Omaha's only true college radio station. This is Tier 3, Episode 18, the show where limbs are being ripped off. I'm Eric Anderson.
I'm Jake Partouche.
And I think that was one of the best intros we've ever had.
Just ruined it by...
Yep. We are broadcasting to you from the Mav Radio station.
Are we HD yet?
I don't think we're HD yet, no.
Oh, no.
My pastor, I went to church this Sunday back home, and my pastor evidently listens to KVNO, the classical side of it, mind you. But he was like, I've got an HD radio receiver, which is really weird because no one in our area has HD radio receivers. He said, once we're up and running, he'll listen to us.
Oh, cool.
So we have one more listener.
Sweet.
My pastor. Announcements. There's not going to be a show next week, unfortunately.
Why not?
Yeah, because I've got a work meeting at 9 o'clock, and it's like way out in Elkhorn, so I'm going to have to leave at like 6 to get there. So
6?
No show next
Elkhorn's
week.
not that far. It's not 3 hours away. Come on.
Seems like it. If you ever leave during rush hour, it takes
that's
forever to get out there.
Well, then don't leave during rush hour. Leave at like 7.
It does. It takes me like
8. Leave at 8.
25,
Leave at 8.
20 minutes.
15. 8:30.
8:30. I could get there. I could get there if I left at 8:30. Yeah. Anyway, Jay is not with us this week because he.
Yes.
Yes, because he's listening. I know he's listening. He said he would be. He's going. Well, he's like doing homework or something. I don't know.
Whatever. If he can listen, then he's
yeah.
should be here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where he's at. He wasn't in the room, so if he's at class, I don't know where he's at. Maybe he's in the library. If you're in the library, Jay, listening, put this on the loudspeaker so everyone can hear us, listen to us. Tune in, get like a watch party. So I guess that's about it for announcements. No show next week, remember that. So let's get into some news. Apple, this is probably like our biggest stuff for today's news. They confirmed that there's going to be a March 7th big conference out at San Francisco. Apple sent out an official memo to everyone.
Not everyone, just people that are invited.
Well, like they sent out an official invite, I guess.
Yeah.
But it went out to a lot of people, from what I understand. So, like, I guess Gizmodo evidently got one, didn't they? Because they didn't cite us. Or this is The Verge.
The Verge got one.
The Verge got one, and then Gizmodo just ripped off The Verge as usual. So, but they're expecting the iPad 3, as usual, or as anticipated, to be announced at this conference on March 7th. It's at 10 a.m. PST. There will be live blogs.
It'll be noon here. Noon Central.
Yeah, noon Central. There'll be live blogs for sure on all the tech sites. I don't know if there'll be any streaming. I doubt it because Apple's kind of tight with how they run their conventions.
Yeah.
But they're expecting the Retina display to be in there, and I guess what did Apple say in the?
They didn't actually say.
We have something you really need to see and touch, and evidently all the tech enthusiasts are like, oh, we have something we really need you to see. They're like, that has to be the Retina display because they think it's a play on words or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they're looking too deep, and I think it was just like a statement from Apple. Hey, it's gonna be the iPad 3. We all know it is.
That's true.
And I think the Retina display will be in there. I don't know if that had anything to do with that statement or whatnot.
I don't know. If you look at that picture, it's pretty dang clear.
Yeah. Yep, it's all the... And then they can't... Yeah, if the picture's up on the live stream, again, that's... and our audio should be good this week. I guess that's an announcement. Hopefully our audio isn't crackling as much as it usually is during the live feed. But livestream.com/Mav Radio. You can see what we are talking about live, and we have up right now a picture of hopefully what we think is the iPad 3.
It's what Apple actually sent with the invitation.
The invitation,
Yeah,
so it is the iPad 3.
A lot of people are speculating that there will be no home button on the iPad 3.
Well, there's no home button in the picture.
Yeah.
But they can't tell whether the iPad is in a landscape, taken landscape, or if that's actually the bottom where the home button would be. It's just a real little sliver of the bezel for audio listeners, and there's... Well, now wait a minute, because the icons on the screen, they're oriented down, and the calendar is at the bottom. That looks to me like the bottom of the iPad.
Well, I think you can flip it around and it'll... I don't know. I'm not...
I would think that would be the bottom of the iPad,
You would think so. And
maybe
it
there's
seems
not a
like
home
there
button.
should be a home button right there.
It does seem
there's
like there
not.
should be.
So everyone's freaking out and be like, "Oh, there's no home button." That's
What are we gonna do without a home button?
Yeah.
I don't know. What does all the home button do though?
Well, basically, you go back to your home menu, or you double tap it to see your running apps. Yeah.
That's about it. They could easily integrate that into
Right.
the touchscreen and have absolutely no buttons on.
Well, there'd probably be some sort of volume controller.
Right, rocker maybe on the side.
Yeah.
Obviously, USB probably of some sort.
Yeah, but that's not really.
Or not USB. The
power button or something.
power, volume rocker, and Apple's little proprietary, however you say that word, USB thing.
Proprietary.
Yeah.
They're a 30-pin. Yeah, I heard a story about they were thinking about moving on from that.
That'd be nice. To what?
I don't know.
If they go something standard, like I don't know, say USB.
I mean, the thing is, like, they've been standard this entire time. They put it in the exact same place in every device, and it's the same connector, so every device is compatible with the other ones because they've kept that connector standard in all their devices, and it's easier for, I guess, people to make docks and everything, things that hold that.
If they changed it now, I guess that would cause quite a few problems. But I mean, there's tons. Everything Apple's released up until now. Did the first iPod generation, did that use it too? I think that used the same thing.
Yeah, I think so.
So I mean, it'd be changing everything.
The
All the docks.
past 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be. Yeah, that'd change a lot of things. I don't know. I mean, I can see if they kept that end of it, and then they went to like a USB 3.0 or maybe Apple's little Thunderbolt port. I get more and more things are using the Thunderbolt.
I would say if they moved on, it would probably be that.
Yeah, I'm guessing the pen side of it that plugs into all the Apple devices would stay the same. There's just too much back catalog of Apple products to change that now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually they're gonna have to, but I mean, you have to move on from it. But
I think you'd start implementing a bit more slowly rather than just get rid of it all at once.
Yeah, who knows? I guess the iPad is big enough to could have multiple ports. So
I think they want to keep it slim, or
I mean,
like a design, like a sleek design. Few buttons here and there, but nothing like.
It's true. I mean, it's gonna have a port, and it's gonna have a headphone jack, and it's gonna have
volume
rocker, and
power
sleep/power button.
That'll be the same button. How's your 4G working out for you there?
It's good.
Is it?
I like it.
Get lots of service?
Yeah, I actually have 3 bars of 4G right now.
I was looking at USB to get totally off subject. I was looking at those USB dongles from Verizon where you can get internet service wherever you are on your laptop. I thought those were offered in some sort of 3G. They're not. They're only 4G. You can only get those in 4G, which defeats the entire purpose of it, because if you go in a laptop in a car, which is what you were buying those for, 4G service is not nearly that reliable.
It's true.
To do that yet. They should still have a 3G model.
They don't have anything.
They don't have anything on 3G for that. I was like, wow. I was just kind of looking at them to see what they had, and that really surprised me. In more Apple news, moving on, Apple was in a kind of a heated, I guess, lawsuit, court case debacle about their selling their iPads in China. And let's see. A Shanghai court has rejected a request in a trademark case to stop Apple selling its iPad tablet computers in the city, averting an embarrassing suspension of iPad sales in its own flagship stores. So iPads weren't even being sold in Apple stores.
Weird.
In Shanghai. It was crazy, but I guess it's all been resolved. There was some sort of trademark infringement. I forget who. Who did that? I don't know. But yeah, if you went into an Apple store in Shanghai, you couldn't buy an iPad, which was obviously really embarrassing for Apple employees if
definitely.
walk into a store. Can I get an iPad? No, we don't have them here. We do not sell them here. This was an Apple. What are you thinking? You come into an Apple store thinking that you're going to buy an iPad? Are you crazy?
Yeah,
No, we don't sell those there.
So were they? Was it just at Apple stores or was it at?
It was all over. It was
there were just no iPads to be sold in China.
There weren't. There are now. It's been resolved, so you can get them now, evidently. But yeah, for about what? Probably 2-3 weeks there were no iPads being sold in China.
Well, who would want to get the iPad 2 at this point?
Yeah, no one's getting the iPad 2 at this point.
Right.
I would hope no one's getting the iPad 2 at this point.
They're just gonna probably drop the price on it. I would say, make it.
What's the first one running right now? The original iPad.
Wi-Fi only.
Yeah.
500 or the iPad.
Yeah, iPad.
I don't know. I don't think they sell it like.
You can get it used.
Right. They don't sell it at the Apple store though.
No, they're not.
They don't regulate a price for it. Like the way they have their phone set up now, the 3GS is free with contract. The iPhone 4 is $100 with contract, and the iPhone 4S is $200 with contract. I think they would probably start doing something similar with the iPads. With the iPad 2 was so super popular that they'll probably drop the price on it.
To what? I'm interested.
I've heard. I mean, speculation like what 300 or to just get it in the price range of the Kindle Fire and just not 200 but probably 300.
I'd almost
350.
Yeah, I'd almost say 350 is what I was gonna guess. I can see them wanting to drop that to compete with those other tablets, because there's a whole other tablet sector running, $200 lower, almost $300 lower than what the iPad runs.
Right. Well, the Kindle Fire is $200.
Yeah, so I can see Apple trying to drop the iPad 2 after the release of the iPad 3 to try and compete with that. And iPad 3, $500.
It's probably gonna be $500.
Yeah. And then that's Wi-Fi only, and then 3G.
So well, they're thinking that this iPad will have 4G capabilities.
Okay. Yeah. And then,
but for those models, it'll probably be a little bit more expensive. But you could probably get it with contract, so some sort of discount applies. I don't know the whole pricing scheme.
I feel like the iPad 2 had a lot more facts about it known before its release. I think we knew processor ahead of time. I know we knew resolution and screen specs ahead of time. iPad 3 is kind of running under the radar. Even the release date.
It's a pretty big mystery.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of processor they're going to put into that. I'm going to jump a couple stories. Yeah, I'm getting way off track here. But in tablet news, speaking of processors, what did the iPad have in it? The A5 in it, and that's dual core. Okay, so Apple evidently knows what they're doing, because Asus with their Transformer Prime, which we had Wyatt on here reviewing 3 weeks ago or so. If you guys watched that episode, that has the NVIDIA Tegra 3 quad-core processor in it. Well, all future iterations of the Asus Transformer Prime tablet in the future are going to go back to a dual-core processor. They're going to get rid of the Tegra 3 that's in it and go to a dual-core Qualcomm S4 SoC. Whatever that is. It was recently announced. I guess it's, Transform pads, the high-end Infinity series are going to use that processor. Let me see if I can bring that up on the screen here. Yeah.
They announced it at the Mobile World Congress.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I didn't even know that was going on.
I don't even know what it is.
I have no idea what that is. I feel like I should know what that is, but I don't.
You should know what it is. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember why they decided to switch back to a dual core processor. Um, there are at least three compelling reasons. The Tegra 3 uses fairly standard Cortex A9 cores. The S4 uses Qualcomm's very own Cry8 cores, which might not even be faster than the upcoming Cortex. Blah 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 blah. For comparison, ARM has said that at the same clock speed, the dual core processor will be 40% faster than. Well, they're comparing the same processor. No, okay, here we go. The dual core processor, the A15 dual core processor, is going to be 40% faster than the Tegra 3 quad core processor. The Tegra 3 uses Cortex A9. The Qualcomm S4 dual core uses Cortex A15 cores, and basically it's the difference in cores that's making the huge difference here. Yeah. Even though it's a dual core processor, those cores are still going to be running faster than, I guess, the quad cores. So.
Well, the cores just mean it can do multiple processes at the same time, but the clock speed on the individual cores is going to be higher than the dual core.
Yeah. There are
Interesting.
There was some more. The second advantage is that the S4, is size. The Qualcomm S4 will be the first 28 nanometer SoC. I wish I knew what SoC stood for. I don't know. While the Tegra 3 is still at 40 nanometers, so there's a size difference, speed difference.
Probably battery life difference.
And evidently the S4 will be the first SoC to feature an integrated second generation LTE radio.
System on a chip.
What is that?
An integrated circuit that integrates all components of a computer or other electronic system into a single chip.
Doesn't it sound like we know what we're talking about? We're just reading this stuff. Yeah, if you've ever read our tagline, it's "We're not professionals, but you'll think we are," and that's like totally opposite of what we're doing. We're not professionals, and you're not going to think we are. This is blowing my mind here. But main thing is the A6 Transformer Prime. They really pushed the quad-core processor, the Tegra 3. NVIDIA had a whole homepage dedicated to the Transformer Prime tablet, and now they're getting rid of that and going to this Qualcomm dual-core processor. So that's that. So
it's weird.
We've got local news here too. Going back, we're flipping all over the place today. This is in Google News. Google's aiming to build an antenna farm in Council Bluffs.
They are, yes.
Council Bluffs is home to a massive, Google's already got a large presence there, search engine. It powers the Google search engine. They've got a huge server farm outside of Council Bluffs, and now they're going to build an antenna farm.
It's pretty cool.
Now, Ken Dick, from the University of Nebraska at Omaha, I actually have an IT ethics class with him, which shout out to that class, is awesome. If you ever have to take IT ethics, take it with Professor Ken Dick. He interviewed with the Omaha World Herald, and these are quotes by him. "Such a move by Google makes sense," said Ken Dick, chairman of the telecommunications department and a senior research fellow at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. "The thing that's happening in the industry is people are watching more and more video on computers and mobile devices than their TV. Between 40 and 50% of what millennials, consumers between the ages of 13 and 30, watch is on the computer." So it makes sense. They're wanting to move. This antenna farm is actually going to be servicing Google's fiber optic network down in Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. That whole area. Yeah. Well, there's two. It's spread out. So
there's a river between.
But a lot of people in Council Bluffs, it's good. Council Bluffs, as a community, the government of Council Bluffs is extremely happy about this because it's going to get Council Bluffs on the map. They're already known because of the large data center Google has in there, but this is going to help. But a lot of the people in Council Bluffs aren't too happy. I'm not too happy about it. I'm glad it's going there, but they could test this fiber optic network in Omaha at the university. That would be awesome. What did it say? Consumers, I forget. 100 times faster than current high-speed internet products. It's called Google Fiber. 100 times faster than current high-speed internet products is what Kansas City, Kansas is currently getting through this test service. That's insane.
It's not Kansas City. It's a different place in Kansas, but I don't think it's Kansas City.
Well, they're expanding outside Kansas City.
Oh.
This is being tested in Kansas City.
Well, I thought the original Google network was, the high-speed network was in a different city in Kansas. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was in Kansas City. I don't know.
All right.
For bandwidth-intensive video transmission, Council Bluffs would be a good location for serving Google's future customers in Kansas City. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are disappointed that Google, put this antenna farm here, or is going to put this antenna farm here, but they're not.
I think there's a lot of cities that wanted to get it.
Yeah.
And Google, made choice.
I don't know why did they choose Kansas? I don't understand that. I'm sure they've got a reason why. I just don't understand Kansas City at all. Yeah, I really wish maybe they would have done little bits and pieces. Maybe they could have done a university thing where universities would have had crazy fast internet speed. It's already super fast here.
Right.
Like, I don't notice a speed difference. It doesn't. Videos buffer, 1 out of 30, 40 times maybe. YouTube almost always plays seamlessly.
Yeah.
It's like there's no problem whatsoever. I can't imagine how fast this internet is.
Right. Well, it's too fast. You can't even.
It's got to be. As soon as you hit something, type in something, Google's already knows. It's like it's already pulling up pages for you. All you have to do is think. That's just. I don't understand. That is fast internet. But yeah, that was. It's interesting. That was. I think that's the second week in a row I've pulled something out of the Omaha World Herald. But that was interesting. It was local, and my professor had to do with it. So, in other Google news, coming out of the Chromium blog from Chrome, Google is offering prizes to anyone who hacks the Google Chrome browser, I believe, or is it the Google Chrome operating system?
No, Chromium.
Chromium operating system.
Yeah. Chromium's operating system.
Have you ever tried that?
No. Do you need a Chromebook?
No. Well, yeah. It runs on Chromebooks. There's a couple different versions of it. I tried one where you installed it on USB. I put it on that silver gateway laptop that I have. It's basically just like an internet. If you've never used a Chrome OS before, it's an OS.
Most people haven't.
It's an OS developed by Google that's strictly web-based. There's almost no hardware involved in it. Storage-wise, everything's stored online in Google. Google knows
on the cloud.
In the cloud, Google knows everything about everything you're doing.
Well, it's like a lot like people's phones nowadays.
Yeah. Almost everyone has a Google account now. Everyone through the university has one because we use Gmap, and that's through Google. So every student at UNO has a Google account. It's just how much people are tied into Google now. But the Chrome OS is completely web-based, and that's kind of an entirely new way to run an operating system. The really big benefit I see is that you can access your data from anywhere, all of your data from anywhere, without having to worry about backing it up, constantly saving it to some online storage place.
You can do that the same with.
You can do it with normal operating systems today, but it takes a lot more work. It's all integrated in Chrome OS. And then, obviously, you get way faster start times on, if you're using a Chromium laptop.
It's really fast.
Chromium laptops, those were released by Google. I don't know where you can buy those.
Chromebooks, you mean?
Chromebooks.
You can get them anywhere.
Can you get them? I've never even seen one. I've seen them online. I've never seen one.
I guess
physically seen one.
Not really that popular around here, but.
But the boot time on them is extraordinary because it's not loading any, background files. It's just going right to your operating system, which is in the cloud. So there's a lot of benefits to them. I guess the big one is that anywhere. But back to this reward thing. Basically, Google is trying to get all the bugs out of their operating system. They're offering $60,000 if you find a full Chrome exploit, which means in the Chrome operating system, the user account persistence using only bugs in Chrome. I don't know what that means. Basically, it's a Chrome. It's a really big fatal flaw that can do security stuff. If you find something like that, they'll give you $60,000. They're offering $40,000 for a partial Chrome exploit and $20,000 as a consolation reward. I don't know. All winners will also receive a Chromebook. So, if you're, I guess, good at programming hacking, go
$1 million limit.
So, I mean, there's going to be multiple people who win. It's kind of cool. Kind of a cool idea to open it up to the public, kind of open source their debugging.
Right.
Oh, what else do we have? What time is it? 8:30. Man, this podcast is really technical. We have more processor stuff. How much processor stuff have we talked about today? More than I
Sorry.
wanted to. That echoed everywhere. Intel's Ivy Bridge. Ivy Bridge. I always look at that. Ivy Bridge processor. Their last one was Sandy Bridge. This one's Ivy Bridge. Core i7 3770 is capable of a 100% overclock. Would they overclock this thing to?
It's 7 gigahertz.
What's it normally? But the processor operates at 3.5. 3.5 gigahertz, and they overclocked it.
100% overclock. Doubling.
Yeah, they overclocked it to 7 gigahertz.
That's impressive.
They said it wasn't too hard to do, but they did have to use dry ice to keep it cool, I guess. I saw that done on an AMD processor. There was a video of it. That's just insane. Did you see Jay's new computer, by the way? The thing is massive. He built it. He got all the parts for it and finally built it himself this week. And I think he's got an i5 in it. Yeah. He says he's going to eventually overclock it, but
some i5s are made to overclock.
Yeah, the i5s are. Yeah. I mean, you have to mess. It's not an easy process. You have to mess with power, the little power, getting
yeah, if you mess with some software, then you can. I mean, it's not too bad, but.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find that overclocking. AMD overclocking dry ice video. Because I know that was just crazy. I don't remember. But they Phenom X6 dry ice cooling. Oh, that's not it. This is not making for a good podcast.
Yeah. Come on.
I really want to find it because it was.
You're letting down your viewers.
I know. How many do we have? How many of you guys are listening? If you guys want to go into the live chat and ask us any questions, you can. On the live stream feed, we always have a live chat running.
It says chat room has been cleared by the moderator. Moderator only chat.
They should be able to type. Press.
I can't type, so.
Really? Maybe it's AMD processor.
To log in.
Oh yeah, you have to log in. AMD processor overclocking. Here it is. Yeah, they took a Guinness world record with this. We will watch this video quick because it is simply amazing. I'll turn up these sounds so we can hear it. And go to screen.
We have among the most respected overclockers in the AMD community. we're trying to do is see what we can do with AMDFX. And the question is just how far can we go?
So we're not running any benchmarks, we're just shooting for the highest CPU-Z. So we boot up from the BIOS with pretty safe, easy settings, and then we'll adjust the frequencies on the fly. Just seeing how the frequency scales, going from air, water, phase to extreme. So we're just going up little by little, 7 gigahertz. So far, no problem.
These days, we've kind of stepped it up a bit. When we run liquid nitrogen, it's kind of a preliminary test for us, and it's been overclocking for the rest of the world for a long time.
7873, getting closer to the 8 gigahertz. 8 gigahertz. When we switch over to helium, the base temperature has usually been between negative 220 and 230. 8.335 megahertz. That was the highest CPU frequency ever. And we had the virus scanner enabled. Let's see if we can go higher. So this would be 8420 if we can make it. 8429.
Congratulations, everyone. That is awesome.
So that was that was totally my bad. They used liquid nitrogen, not dry ice, but
It's still cold.
it's crazy. Yeah, crazy cold. And that overclocked to 8.429 gigahertz, which blows the i7 we were talking about earlier out of the water. It's just not usable in a real situation, though. They're just getting it as high as they can go. That they were doing for a Guinness World Record there. So I'm glad I found that video. That's just crazy. When they put the that hose on and just blast it with liquid nitrogen to cool it down. I don't remember what they said for temperature, but it gets really cold. What else do we have for news? I think that's about it for processors. We've done. I think we've covered just about all the latest news in processors tonight. Let's see, what do we got? Pretty much just one story left, and this is just a fun thing. Not really. Well, it has to do with physics, but not really anything tech per se or computers. But there's a new British roller coaster. It's called the Swarm, and evidently it's so extreme. They ran it a couple times with practice dummies, and both times the practice dummies, the test dummies, came back missing limbs. That this thing is so extreme. It's there's no the picture on the screen isn't actually of the Swarm. It's from Wikipedia. That's called bad reporting. When you're reporting on a roller coaster, you just a random picture of a roller coaster in there. Why not? That's a picture of the Swarm right there. It's the first roller coaster ever, from what I understand, where the people riding it are out over suspended on the sides of the track. They're not actually, right above the track sitting in cars. They're suspended beside the actual cars with their legs dangling. So, I mean, you get
Weird.
momentum going in your legs, and I guess that's why they were testing it with test dummies first. And the dummies were coming back missing limbs, legs, arms, what have you. That's why this podcast episode was the show where we're missing limbs.
They had Air Force pilots test drive it, and they called it gut wrenching.
Go back to that article. They had Air Force pilots come in, and they got scared. I guess they said, it's one of the first roller coasters, right, where you actually, legitimately are scared that you're gonna hit something, that you're gonna. They said it somewhere that they thought they were going to, crash into objects or something. It was, I guess it's really great.
So I don't know if that's going to be open to the public anytime soon. Seems like it needs to make a few adjustments.
Yeah, the ride is a winged. Let's see. One of the Flesh and Blood testers declared the Swarm at Thorpe Park in Surrey to be. Is that the same? I'm trying to figure out. There might be 2 of them actually in development. The article really isn't all that clear. I guess it can go up. It goes up to heights about 200 feet at 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
That is at Hershey Park, and that's called the Sky Rush. I think there's actually 2 of these. One's called the Swarm, and one's called the Sky Rush. The Sky Rush, evidently, is the one that goes 200 feet up to 75 miles an hour. That's faster than the Swarm. But a spokesperson for the Sky Rush roller coaster says, don't worry, there won't be any torn limbs, artificial or not, on their watch. So, yeah, it's always kind of a little disconcerting when you go on a ride knowing that all the test dummies came back missing limbs, I guess. I just thought that was really funny. That was in USA Today. But the Swarm is coming. Can you be next? Here is the official website of it.
I don't know if I'd go on it.
Let's see if this is the right one. Yep, the Swarm is definitely the one where you're hanging off the side. That looks like a crazy roller coaster. That is the craziest looking roller coaster I have ever seen. There has to be. That would be. No, that's scary. It's over in the UK, so. I don't know. Would you ride it?
No.
I think I would.
I don't think so.
It'd take. I'd have to have a bunch of people with me. There's no way I'd go on it by myself. But, yeah. Anyway, I thought it was kind of a neat article. I think that's going to about do it. What time is it? 8:44. We're going to finish early and we're going to be out of here by 9. Beat this rain.
Beat the rain.
We're going
I
to...
think it's...
It's if you guys have been, I don't know, if any of listeners are into weather, I'm kind of a weather enthusiast. I like taking weather pictures. Today was one of our first tornado watches, at least in Nebraska. I believe it's still in effect, basically from, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's the weather all of a sudden. From Fremont West and south, there's been a few tornado warnings down in Kansas. Omaha's in a little break right now as a line moves off to the northeast. I'm just kind of looking at my phone. I've got some radar up on it right now. But there's another line that's going to come through, and it looks to be kind of nasty as well. So I think we're going to have about a 30-minute window here to get back to South Campus without being rained on.
All right, well, let's get to it.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this week. Tune in next week. Hopefully Jay will be back.
I hopefully not.
he's not going to be now if you say that. We'll see if we can get any other guests on too. Hopefully the audio wasn't too bad. I don't know, the second half I turned it up kind of again. You can listen, if the audio was bad, sorry, you can listen live or listen after the fact on YouTube. I've always got good audio on there. That's youtube.com/T3 podcast. What else? iTunes. It's on iTunes.
It's everywhere.
Tier 3 podcast. And then live stream. And you can always listen to audio only live through Mav Radio. You know Mav Radio. Blogspot.you know Mav Radio. Just search Mav Radio on Google. You'll find it eventually. Thanks for listening. And tune in next week. Till then, I'm Eric Anderson.
Jake Cortez.
And this has been Tier 3 on KVNO 90.7 HD-2 Mav Radio.